people are saying that they like her more now. I mean, she's definitely getting more views. Even if she was to leave the Young Turks and open her own YouTube channel, I do think she would do pretty well. It's kind of weird. I never thought that Anna would be in this position. So let's see what she says.
Can we just please not provide cover for our leaders when they make mistakes like this? That was a...
So she's talking about Joe Biden, who called Trump supporters garbage. I genuinely don't know why it's shocking. I mean, Hillary Clinton called MAGA supporters a basket of deplorables. I guess it sounds better, but the sentiment is the same. And it even ended with assault. I remember, like, there were women that got egg on their face by Antifa, and there were there was another lady that got maced, and you know, like all of this was during that election period, specifically due to the rhetoric. You had Maxine Waters saying that when you see them, you need to form a crowd and push on them. And to be honest, like, that is actually worse than calling your opponents garbage. But, like, for some reason, everyone is surprised and shocked by this. CNN was running op-eds and they were trying to do damage control. I personally think that Biden is trying to sabotage Kamala Harris's campaign. And this is not just me thinking. Like, there's a lot of people that suspect this is the case. The first thing was the MAGA hat, where he actually took one, placed it on himself, and then he was seen again with it going into the airplane. The second thing was him scheduling some public appearances exactly when Kamala was supposed to hold a speech. And now you have this. Like, if I was to be in charge of Joe Biden's PR team and I wanted to sabotage Kamala Harris's campaign, I don't know what more I could do. Like this would pretty much be it. So maybe this is why left-leaning people are a little bit upset, right? Because, again, it's not Kamala that said it. It's Joe Biden. So, like, going after Joe Biden would actually make strategic sense. Because they would be like, well, you know, like, she's not him, and it's not okay. Like, we don't stand for this. Like this is pretty much what Anna Kasparian is doing. If every leftist would do that, they would manage to, I don't know, I guess, like, fix the optics a little bit for the moderates, because you're not going to fix it for someone that's already a right-winger. But, like, someone that's on the fence, yeah, you could fix the optics if you actually stand up and you condemn Joe Biden for what he said.
A terrible mistake that Biden made. It should not be justified. Again, if you're a private citizen and you have your personal views about the Republican electorate, that's on you and that's your business. You have not taken an oath to represent the country.
See, a lot of people keep forgetting this, but, like, the president is supposed to represent all Americans, right? So when you call half of the Americans garbage, I don't know if those Americans feel represented. And not to mention, a lot of people forget that the citizen is your boss. Like, literally, they are paying your salary. Like, if it was a company, the citizen would be the shareholder. But it's not that way anymore. Like, it's not even that mindset anymore. It's like the government can just take money, so they don't care, because, like, you're not giving them voluntarily, right? So they don't treat you like a boss. They treat you more like a peasant while they're the nobility.
You're not the president of the United States. And I don't know why anyone would think it's a good idea to celebrate or applaud political culture in this country that allows for the president to just regularly trash tens of millions of people that he himself is supposed to be representing.
To be fair, like, the reason that I think that they're up in arms about this is that there was a comedian at a Trump rally, and the comedian made a joke about Puerto Ricans, and the media was like, oh my goodness, oh, they made the joke, oh, blah, blah, blah. And they went on and on and on about something that no one gives a fuck. You know, comedian makes joke. Okay. And literally after that, the timing was so poor. The timing was so poor because it's very difficult to clutch your pearls and to say, oh, this joke is bad. But then you don't have a comedian. You have the actual president that calls citizens garbage. It's like, dude, read the room. Like, let the media do the PR for the left, you know? Like, stop interfering.
That is not a good culture to set. and things will just continue.
You know, like this is another thing. Like, while I agree with Anna, like, where was she when the left was calling right-wingers terrorists? Like again, they're really concerned about the optics and the wording and the political correctness, but like, I would rather be called garbage than to be called a terrorist, you know? I would rather be called garbage than to have Maxine Waters say, oh, if it's a right-winger, form a crowd and go after them. It's like, they say it in a civilized manner, but like, that shit is a lot more disturbing than if they just call you garbage.
Continue devolving. I don't think that this is a winning thing to do. I'm not proud of what Biden.
It's not about winning. It's simply that they can, right? Like, there's no repercussions. And you get to see a lot of people's colors when they know that they can say or do anything they want. Just like, look at the arrogance of some of the people in the European Union. Like, they know they're untouchable. They know that the voter can never do anything. So they say a lot of crazy shit. I mean, look at Guy Verhofstadt. Like, Guy Verhofstadt talks like a fascist. And he does so because he knows that, well, nothing will happen to him. Like, he's not going to never get elected. Like, the system is designed in such a way that he's always going to enjoy the comfy position. So, like, when people know that they're in power and they can never lose that power, or it's very unlikely that it happens, then they start talking stuff like this.
Did. And honestly, the thing that frustrates me even more is that after he made those statements, even though he was on video making those statements, a bunch of people are totally gaslighting about how it didn't happen. It's totally made up. It's fake.
You know, if she said this in 2016, when this type of culture was just getting started, I would be like, wow, that's based. But we've been through this for like the last 5 years. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that she says it now. But like, watching this, I'm not even impressed. I'm like, well, leftists go to leftism, you know, like, this is part and parcel of what they do. I mean, it's like, this is just like issue number 457. You know, the issue number 1 was back in 2016 when Hillary Clinton called Trump supported the basket of deplorables. Like, that was the progeny. That's where it started. But since that day, up until now, there have been like so many cases to the point where this is like just another meh. You know, it's another Tuesday, I guess.
It's a scary world that we're currently living in, where a lot of people, a lot of voters, a lot of people in the media, just not based in, their views are not based in reality at all.
I mean, Anna, like, just understand this, okay? People go to buy groceries, and they notice that they can't afford the same shit that they could afford in 2020. And the media is saying, no, you're wrong. Like, this is the level of gaslighting we're on, all right? Like it's one thing when you gaslight about the employment. Because that's easy to gaslight. You know, you tinker the numbers, and you may have a person that's struggling to get a job, and they can just say, well, no, that's just you. You know, like, maybe you're not looking in the right place. Maybe you're not qualified enough. Maybe just the sector you're in is not doing well right now. So, like, you can gaslight someone that employment is actually doing really well, right? You can gaslight about the crime level. I mean, your house can be broken into 45 times a month, but, like, it doesn't really matter because they can always say, well, that's just you, that's just your neighborhood, you know? It's not widespread. But to gaslight someone about the groceries, that is fucking madness. That is like liberal insanity, because the person can see for themselves how much they're spending now, and they knew how much they were spending then because they were the same person doing the groceries. And you can try to gaslight them and say, well, maybe it's your neighborhood, but like, they go on the internet and they can just look at other neighborhood stores and they can see it's the same price. But here we are gaslighting people that, well, actually, no, the economy is doing great and the prices for groceries out of there. It's just that people are spending too much time on social media and they're getting misinformed. Honestly, I bet they would fact check the grocery bill if they could.
And they would rather lie to people in order to cover up a mistake or a terrible act of an individual in a position of power. I don't even recognize.
Is this the first time though? I mean, the thing that baffled my brain, like, the first time that I saw it was shocking. You know, the second time, still shocking, but not so much. And then you go to the third time where it's like, I mean, this is what they do. Remember when Joe Biden went out and said that America would defend Taiwan? And the problem with this is that their policy has been consistent to remain ambiguous. Like, if Taiwan gets attacked, will America defend Taiwan? Who knows, right? But Joe Biden comes out and he's like, no, we'll defend it. And I was like, well, that takes balls. Okay, so he's sticking it to Z. That's interesting. Only to find out on the White House website that, well, actually, the White House has changed position. No, sorry, they literally contradicted Joe Biden, right? And it's like, hold on a little bit. What do you mean the White House contradicted the president? Isn't the president representing the White House? Right? So, that was baffling, and it wasn't the first time. There were many times when Joe Biden would say something, and then the White House would say the opposite hours later, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? How is this a thing? Right? I'm pretty sure Anna knows about it, right? So this is why I'm not surprised that they're gaslighting.
What's happened to the Democratic Party anymore, to be honest. And luckily, you have people like Kamala Harris pushing back, and I'm really proud of her for doing that.
You gotta say that, right? Because you're still a leftist. But imagine Kamala Harris pushing anything. Come on.
And if you're offended by it, be offended by it. I don't really care.
They're not offended. You just want to do life relation. They just want to do what they do to Hassan. I heard that Hassan privated videos now. Anyway, there's a little civil war on the left going right now, especially on Twitch. It's a topic for another time. What can I say? They made their bed. They love the censorship. They love the trust and safety. They love this type of culture where no one is allowed to dissent. At least on the right, you have a lot of people that can dissent. There's no uniforming idea. People usually agree with certain things, but you can have, someone on the right that's, pro-choice. It's like, okay, well, he's pro-choice. They're not going to, root them from the... Meanwhile, on the left, if you don't believe all women are women, that's... No, you get J.K. Rowling. It's just one example. You have Anna Kasparian going around and talking about a murder where a guy hacked a person to pieces and then he was arrested and let go. And she's bewildered by this. And there's other leftists like, no, Anna, why are you like this? Why are you like this? It's like, cops are bad. Cops are bad. This is the difference between the ideologies now. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.